Mr. Karl Perrotton from Crooked Dice Games. How are you?
Oh, I'm not bad, mate. How are you?
I'm
you
good.
Holding up all right?
It's been a slow downward spiral here into
Carl.
a little bit of delusion and a little bit of madness. It's been we're good.
He's I don't know who this person is, but okay. Nah, man, we're this is the witching hour. It's 4 a.m. here.
Oh Christ!
My dog's just decided to come back in and be a poo bum. She should be asleep, but she's a puppy, so she doesn't know better. So yeah, we're all pushing along, but we're going okay.
Yeah, we're carrying on. It's been a great stream so far. I thought we'd really struggle, but there's been some the conversations have gone all over the place, and it's been really wonderful. It's been really wonderful. How are you? I've been seeing so much wonderful stuff from you on Facebook, so many wonderful scratch builds and bits and pieces with all your Colony 47 stuff. It looks amazing. How are you?
I just got back into it. I haven't picked up a brush in a long while. It's my own fault.
Really?
I don't make time for it. There's just so much going on all the time. It's you're better than me, but you know what it's like. There's always something happening.
Yeah, well, I was going to say when I owned a retail store, people used to ask me all the time, "Oh, it must be great fun to play games all the time," and I'd be like,
and you just laugh in their face until they leave.
Yeah. I'll tell you how much fun it is after I finish cleaning the bathroom.
Yes, that's what yeah. So I haven't done anything, but I've got this. Monday I'm going driving down south. Mr. Kevin Dallimore is going to take some photographs with me.
Oh, lovely.
For me. For Colony 87 for the next Kickstarter for next month. So I've got loads of bits anyway, and I've been collecting it over the years. But I wanted to actually get some stuff done. So I've been painting all day, and I've been absolutely loving it. But it's the building stuff that I particularly like. Hold on, I finished it off.
How good is terrain? Terrain's always fun.
It's the biggest element.
Bit.
Yeah. I always
get
like
slightly
building.
Intimidated about slapping paint on it. So I've got loads of stuff that never ever got built because I think I'd ruin it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's so good.
Like fun.
It's all the little details on it, and
it's the little fellow in the. Hold on.
Oh, look at him hunched in the corner.
That's cool. Oh, that's so awesome. God damn.
So there's the bots and stuff in the little thing there.
Well, I'm just absolutely in love with that. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And Carl,
sorry.
I was just going to say these have all come together from bits and pieces of yours, right? Some of it's Crooked Dice stuff, some of it's just scratch built.
Yeah. It started off as a war bases, like an American 50s diner, I think. So the shape was all there, and it was gifted to me by Martin at War Bases years ago. I can't remember why. So I just started sticking bits on it, and I always clad it, so you can't really see any of the MDF to start off with. So there's plastic hard, and then there's GW kits that I had knocking around. That is like the scoop off a Chimera or something like that.
Oh yeah, the Imperial Guard tank accessory sprue, and you've just flipped the dozer blade over. That's awesome.
That's some of those crates flipped on the side to make a little counter. There's loads, but I wanted that kind of Blade Runner, that brilliant street scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've got a load of I collect all those the art book stuff, from any of the movies. So I've got a good Sid Mead one actually.
He's got some really cool stuff actually, doesn't he? His a lot of his concept art is just brilliant.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. I've got that Ralph McQuarrie as well, who did all the original.
He is still hands down my favorite ever. It's the thing people are like, George Lucas was amazing with the original Star Wars. I'm like, is it him or is it Ralph McQuarrie and Joe Johnston that really took it to that next level?
My most treasured things is the Empire Strikes Back making of book that came out when I had it, like the original. It was like a magazine thing that came out in 80, 81. And it was all of those Joe Johnston drawings and the Ralph McQuarrie artwork, and that's what I just loved that, and I read that to death. I think he's gone off to get one, has he?
You've just reminded me how poorly laid out all of my books are at the moment because I never put them back on the shelf. I've got all the ones from the latest films, but this is probably my favorite one, which is the art of The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, that's the
That
one.
is-
Yeah,
that
and
is
that's my
brilliant.
favorite as well.
Yeah, I couldn't find it for Return of the Jedi, but this one's brilliant because you get all the sketches from both, like that's a perfect example. That's the floor plan of the Hoth hangar.
That's it.
There's just so much cool stuff like that. Yeah, I think I got this when I was 17, and
I think they sort of
Treasure
did a re-release and compilation treasury thing back when they re-released when they did the special edition stuff.
Yeah, this has got at the end of it. It's got the art of the special edition.
Oh, right.
It's got an extra section
I
there.
forgot that was in there. That's it.
Yeah, and it
But I
does
loved
like
all
a
that.
little bit of stuff like on the Wampa scene that they put back in, and then the storyboarding for the scene where they you see Leia in the little building on Bespin. I was gonna sit here and read books now. I've got so much cool stuff in here. I bought the art of the Mandalorian, and I haven't even opened it yet. And I know it's good because you see
Really
the
good.
concept art at the end of those episodes, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
why
yeah.
the fuck haven't I looked at it yet? But I'm also terrified I'll just spear off into some ridiculous terrain projects when I'm trying to get into Napoleonics because I'm an idiot. Anyway,
Have
part of the fun.
Have you seen Visions, Star Wars Visions? Which
No, is it good?
Last couple of days. The first one's really good.
Yeah,
It's
all
a
right.
good kind of samurai Ronin kind of thing. I quite like the look of that. Someone's already done. Do you know Ashiro models?
Yeah, gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because so one of the guys on here before, JP, gets a lot of his Napoleonics buildings done by what's the guy's name that runs it? Is it Adam? No,
James Sharp is a Shiro. In fact,
James. Yes, sorry.
Yeah. But I bought these this week off him, 2 little kind of market stalls for it, which is just
They
Cool.
look brilliant.
painted those up today.
They look like there's going to be a guy on one side doing up like yakitori sticks or something in Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Like 100%. And you'll have like a big vent near him just spewing out all this steam. The whole scene,
He's
I love
already
it. It's so good.
Yeah, this first one is kind of a samurai, kind of like bucolic village in there, and he's already converted one of his Japanese buildings and kind of Star Wars it up with loads of generators and stuff on it. I think he did it yesterday,
Sick.
so it's really good.
So
But yeah,
cool.
so I've just been getting back into it again.
I'm just going to chuck up
Really
here
fun.
on the stream. Carl, we won't be able to see it in the Google Meet here, but I'm just chucking up some of your pictures from the 7TV group on Facebook of some of the terrain that you've been putting together. All these great, there's bulk heads here from some of the Necromunda Munda kits and all little bits and pieces. Where is it? Somebody you posted up this picture. I'll put it in the chat so we can both see it. Let me change my profile picture as well. I think it's some sort of lamp or something like that. So you should be able to see it. It's this thing in the background.
That blue thing.
Yeah. What the hell is it? Because I saw somebody else post a picture. They were obviously in a shop because there was a trolley in front of them, and they were holding some sort of lamp or something, but it was popped open or something. I've been trying to figure out what it is because it is probably one of the best shapes that disguises itself as a piece of terrain absolutely perfectly.
Okay, so it's an LED lamp. Do you want me to go and get it? It's in the other room, but I'm running to get it.
Yes. I love this sort of stuff. I'm so glad I stayed awake for this. Liz is like, make sure you don't stay up too late if you don't want to. We've got stuff to do tomorrow. Like, yep, I'm going to break out the coffee all day.
There's, those art books that you were talking. I've got a lot for. You got to finish your sentences, Viv. The art books that you guys had for the Star Wars stuff that you were just showing me. I've got a whole bunch of them for the Middle Earth stuff, and having those sorts of references is just invaluable.
Oh, the Middle Earth ones are ones I should pick up, I think. That'd be amazing.
All
Are
right.
you going to go back in? Sorry, I'm just going to double check and ask my dog a question. Are you a dog or are you actually a cat? You're fucking in and out, in and out, in and
Yeah,
out.
pick one.
Honestly,
Pick one.
Don't eat the Eiffel
All
Tower.
dogs ever. Yeah.
Poppy, leave it.
Yeah. So this is all I've done is completely copied what a guy called, I think, Ian Wilson on the Maelstrom Edge. Remember that? There's another
Yeah.
like skirmish game.
Yeah, yeah. They do a lot of cool stuff with scratch building and all this sort of stuff. Yeah.
So this was a little LED lantern. So see where these little bits are at the side? There's like a little hangy thing, so you can hang up in a tent or something. Let's see if it still works. Okay. So that's the shape. Now I cocked this up. No one's really meant to see this, but when he did it, he got that. Then you light it up and it glows and it looks amazing. But my stuff in there was rubbish, so I'm hiding that. And then it's just parts off of. They do like terrain sprues as part of their range.
Yeah, yeah.
Got these, just those little bits in and that, and then that's some of. I think that's like a little crooked dice one, a little vent on the top, and it's great. It's a really good shape to start off
Yeah,
with.
it is. Yeah. It's all those grooves and ridges and stuff in it that just disguise it
Your
immediately.
character.
Yeah.
That was probably 15 quid all in. Because the
Wow.
lamp was like 7 or 8 quid, and then one of the sprues is a £5, and I'll get loads of uses out of that for other stuff anyway. So, yeah, it's quite good. That and a bit of stenciling, done.
That's amazing. It looks so good.
But it's years of scouring the internet and going, oh, that's a good picture, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, those little golden finds that you come across.
Yeah. The Hab buildings, the Necromunda ones, John Boyce, who originally did the first couple of Colony 87 ranges, he did them as Kickstarters. And he's got his blog, Magpie and Old Lead, and all of those ideas are his. He's built those Habs and in there. And again, I've just kind of taken inspiration from that and in some cases just copied them completely.
Well,
so they're a real joy because they're kind of like Lego. You just keep bolting them together and adding stuff on.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Great.
It's I'll put some of those pictures back up on the stream. Or maybe I've got them up there already. I need to change screens. Yeah, yeah.
Right, well, if you're painting, I'm painting then. If that's the case.
Yeah. Get something out and paint. We'll have a bit of a ramble.
What have you been painting today then?
I've just been working through 90 odd, 80 or 90 odd Minas Tirith warriors for Middle Earth strategy battle game. They've been milling around for ages, and I thought they'd be super easy. Quick dry brush with some silver, pick out some details, and they'd been done. But that hasn't been the case. I've spent a lot of time talking and just lounging around, and people in the chat have said, it's been mentioned a few times in the chat, because I'm one of these painters that paint like this, hunched over my desk. A couple of people said, is Viv actually painting, or has he fallen asleep at the desk?
Has it been a lot at the top of your head today? Is that what we've been looking?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but 90% of my painting time is taking these glasses off and putting these glasses on.
Just swapping over so you can see what's going on.
Yeah, getting old.
So I haven't seen a confirmation on Facebook about it or anything, but obviously there's that momentum you can see building. There's a new Kickstarter coming up for Colony 47.
Yeah, it'll be. We did when I kind of bought the range off of John. We did a third one which had half a dozen figures and some extra bits and pieces, and then that was a couple of years ago. So since then, I've just been kind of building up loads and loads of extra sculpts. So I got to like 55 and thought I probably better stop. So there's a ton.
You don't mean that, Carl. There's going to be more, and we all know it.
Yeah, actually, there is one more, but yeah. So that'll be good. So there's 4 kind of pledges for 6 or so figures each, is kind of like the main ones, and then loads of add-ons. So there's some street punks and good Mohican kind of 80s retro guys.
Nice. That's exactly the sort of stuff that you need for that cyberpunk, that Blade Runner, that sort of feel or that vibe.
Yeah, it's got a lot of things kind of mocked into it. So it's there's a noble family that we've got. What else is there? Oh, some kind of caravan desert guard things that we've got that are riding on chickens, like giant chickens, not small chickens. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah, so what would you prefer to fight? One horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Yeah.
What was it? Salvage a Family is another one in there. So yeah, just loads of different kind of retro stuff. So hopefully that will go live mid-October, late October, something like that. So
are we gonna see a 7TV expansion at some stage for? Because I know that we've obviously got the original 7TV, perfect for pulp and all your Spy-Fi gaming and all that sort of stuff. Fantasy's just come out with massive success. Congratulations on that one.
Thank you.
Are we going to see an expansion for this sci-fi sort of genre?
Yes and no. Yeah. The good thing about that range is like it's civilians. That's the thing that I liked about it in the first place. There's very few kind of like armed figures at all.
Well, that you're hitting a key gap in the market because there's not that many civilians around for any genre really that's not armed.
That's true.
You just want people walking around and when you're talking about a setting I keep on mentioning Blade Runner, but for that type of setting, right? Cyberpunk, there's always people around. Most of the movies and the stories, they all have these, stories and these undercurrents that are happening in and around the city and the setting, and there's people everywhere constantly, and there's this, seedy undercurrent or some sort of story or going on. It's not this mass all-out war and this, everything's been evacuated.
That's right. It's all about the noodle bar, right? And everyone who's sitting there. That's much more exciting.
Yeah, exactly. Then some sort of action erupts and someone gets a whole bowl of ramen all over them, and then the action moves on.
So that was it. It was like a civilian bit, which is interesting. So we've had a couple of different goes on it, and we've got a kind of we've done quite a bit of world building in there, and it's just it's weird, kind of 2000 AD. Early Rogue Trader kind of batshit ideas, which are just kind of fused into it. But we think it's going to work better as a more of a co-op kind of RPG light version of it. So that's what we've been developing for a while, with a little bit of advancement and stuff like that. Rather than so you're more of a party or a bunch of what we're going to call kind of freelancers.
Yeah.
So we're kind of writing that between lots and lots of other stuff at the moment.
I wanted to. That sounds amazing, and I can't wait for it. I bet JP was on earlier on, and he was hanging out with us, and we were talking about Crooked Dice, and he asked me, do you know about Edge Hill University? And I was like, yeah, we had a bit of a chat. I said, I remember Karl a couple of years ago when the second edition of 7TV was had come out. Big success, did your print run, shipped them all out. And then I could see on Facebook people were saying, is there going to be a reprint of 7TV? And I remember at that stage, you said, look, I'm not sure, we've sold out, getting a print run, it's a big investment. And, I'm not sure, if there's enough demand, I'll do it. Fast forward 3 or 4 years, and fucking Crooked Dice every 2 months is smashing things out of the park. And there's this wonderful relationship that you've, created with Edge Hill University. And obviously we know that those guys are, really involved in the development of the game. People are finding their footings in careers, and, it's been a wonderful experience all round. What I want to know is, how did that come about, Karl?
So the person that really made all of this happen is Dr. Peter Wright. And I met Peter at the UK Games Expo 4 years ago, I think it was. Now, Jesus, blimey, there's a lot happened since then. And he kind of said, I'd like your stuff. And he kind of pitched an idea for a pulp setting. a Hollow Earth kind of expedition thing, and that sounded great. And he started to develop that, and he kind of drew up an outline. And as he started to do it, he kept kind of building. Peter's a writer by trade, so he'll never stop writing. And if it's 5,000 words, it'll be 10,000 words by the time we finish the conversation. So he was expanding it out, and it was looking really good. And I said, that's a shame, because this would really make just a good kind of standalone pulp setting. In fact, the 7TV setting in there was originally kind of created because we couldn't find a good pulp system that we kind of liked. So he said, hold on to that thought, I've got an idea. And came back, and Edge Hill University have got their own little publishing outfit, Edge Hill University Press, and they published books of poetry and analysis of other bits and pieces. And it happened to be Peter's turn to do a project with it. And rather than doing a book, he managed to kind of convince the university, let's do a game instead. And I kind of loved the idea of it. I worked in publishing and worked with publishing teams for years, and then since kind of running Crooked Dice, just been on my own, stuck in here for 8 hours a day. So the thought of actually working with a team of developers was quite nice. So I think I could probably say now, for example, we were kind of making it up as we were going along and had to kind of figure out how the process would sort of work. But over 2 years, we got kind of 2 sets of students, one each year, and some of them carried over to help us with the kind of the writing of the profiles. We didn't want them to, start the game from scratch. That was probably a bit too much in the time available. Because it's not like it was a course. It was all part of extracurricular activity they were doing on top of their studies. So we said, okay, write the profiles, figure out what the genres are. We sat them down to do research for the first couple of months. So we made them watch all of those old black and white serials, the old Flash Gordon ones and King of the Rocket Men and stuff like that, which for a 19-year-old must have just think, my God, what have I got to see? And we did that, and it really worked. We launched it at the Expo 2 years later, all on time. Everybody seemed to like it, including the university. So they said, well, do you want to do it again?
Amazing.
So that's what we did with fantasy for the last 2 years, all the way kind of through lockdown. Really, we just kicked things off, and then it all got shut down. So it's been great, and we've got 2 projects starting in October with them.
Amazing.
So one will be a feature pack for the 80s box set, which will be out next summer. And then there's another super secret one, which we'll be announcing in a couple of weeks, which is quite exciting.
Well, there's only 17 people watching at the moment, Carl. You can tell us now. We won't tell anyone.
I can't at the moment. But we'll in a couple of weeks we'll kind of have an announcement about what that will be. So that's quite good. I can say it's horror based. This is probably about as much as I can say at the moment.
Amazing.
So that'll be another feature pack. So it's been fantastic, and there's students that have gone on. We've Callum France now paints for me. He was one of the only people that was kind of one of the war gamers. We had a couple in with Pulp, and he's an amazing painter. And he's gone off and he's worked for Siege Studio, and he's now doing stuff for me and for White Dragon and Wargames Illustrated. Other people that are kind of freelancing with me at the moment, writing stuff. So we're trying to develop a kind of a little pool so that really the students can get some stuff on their CVs. Yeah. So they, every time they have interviews, the people they're going with the jobs for are going, so what's this weird 7TV thing that you said you've done? And they end up talking about that for most of the interview. Yeah. Which is kind of the point, really. It's just to kind of get their foot in the door and give them a bit of an advantage if we can. Yeah. So that's been great.
It's from a consumer's perspective, from a market observer's perspective, it looks and it has obviously worked out beautifully. Like I said, you guys have just gone from strength to strength. From a couple of years ago, when I have I lost the connection?
I'm still there.
No. We'll see what happens. I've lost some video. It says I've lost my connection, but
No.
it's just gone from strength to strength. It's been amazing, and every couple of months there just seems to be more miniatures coming out of the Crooked Dice Towers.
Yeah, we've always tried to have a release every month. We started off kind of that way, and we've been able to kind of maintain that. But the game.
Sorry,
All right.
sorry about
Still
that.
showing technical issues.
We're back.
Hey, there we go. Sorry, Carl, you were talking about. Oh, sorry, were you gonna say something, Aaron?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm tired.
Sounds fair to me.
You're a legend. Thanks, Ara from Mana Press. We didn't get to talk too much about Mana Press, but so much.
We got to heckle him
things.
about. We got to heckle him about the second edition of Tribal though, so that was just as
just
much
before you go, Ara. So when Mark gets up and he watches back the end of the bit of the stream that he missed, when is the release date for second edition?
Still didn't answer, did I?
No, you didn't.
It depends on when Lon gets a few of the factions in, but it shouldn't take more than a few months.
So
Probably
so we'll tell him in the morning.
January or
It
February.
should be in a few months. That can
Yeah.
be. Yeah. Okay, great. I'm happy with that answer. I'm not sure Mark will be, but it's not exactly a release date. It's kind of like a time frame. But thanks, Ara.
It'll be like the parents who always want to know more. When are you going to get married? When are you going to buy a house? When are you going to get kids?
Why aren't we grandparents yet?
Okay, so the second edition's out. When are you going to bring out the samurai? When are you going to do this?
Yeah. It doesn't end. It doesn't end. Carl will know about that. People are always going, "What's coming next? Why hasn't this been released? What's happening now?"
Yeah,
I
or you
actually
release
met
something
you,
and they
Carl.
go, that's great, but wouldn't you? Couldn't you not do this? Couldn't you do it with a different head or a different gun or a different thing?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I actually met Carl at the UK Games Expo, probably that same year, 2017. I was at Wayne Boland. He was kind of hanging around then. I was the big Polynesian dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hug him? He would have remembered you more if you did, Ara. Just saying.
He crushed a few bones.
That's mad. That show. That's the kind of biggest one that we've got over here. It's more of a gaming kind of event.
Yeah.
Than the smaller war games ones, but that's great. I really like that one.
Yeah, it went for 2 days, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
It's
used
good.
to that.
I can't wait until we can travel and get back over there again. Go see my family, see my mum, see my sisters and stuff, and hopefully time it so I can get there for the UK Games Expo. I've heard lots of good things about it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good event.
Mhm. All right, guys. I'm going to go to sleep.
Thanks, Ara. Appreciate you tuning in, mate.
Good night.
Thanks, Ara.
See ya. Yeah, Sada.
Good luck, guys.
Thanks, mate.
Right. And then there was 3 actually. It's not too bad.
Well, thank you, Ed, for milling around. He wasn't originally going to, be here for the full 24 hours. I basically, Carl, this whole stream and this whole, venture here, I basically hijacked an event that Ed had organised to have, 5 of us hanging out together on Google Meets. We can catch up and paint online together and stuff.
Yeah.
For 12 hours, we'd do a challenge. We'd each put in $20 and then, donate an extra $2 for every miniature that we painted. Or, there was this kind of concept. The 5 of us would hang out, paint some miniatures, we'd donate that money to charity. And then,
Nice.
I kind of got a little bit carried away. I was like, let's just make it a 24-hour thing. And and then I was like, why don't I see if I can get hold of a couple of people I know and we can get some guests on the show. And then I was like, well, let's set up a foundation, a charity page on Beyond Blue, which is one of our organisations here in Australia that provides support to people suffering from mental health issues.
Yeah.
Let's register a fundraising campaign on their website, and I'll quickly build a little website, and we'll put up profiles there for all the guests. Let me hook up some of my suppliers and some industry contacts and see if we can get some prize support. And so what was going to be just the five of us chilling out in a Google Meet for 12 hours has turned into, what has happened here now. I just want to tune back in real quick. We'll just go back across to the campaign page just real quick. We'll jump into the browser. It was $9,310.90 the last time we checked it. And it's currently sitting at $9,570.90.
Do you need some more prizes to incentivize people? I didn't know about prizes. I can sort that out. That's easy.
Oh, look, we did.
Give me an 18 van, and I'll bloody pay money now.
We did have a plan to try and give some stuff away live on the stream. I'd spent a lot of time setting up some chat bots to help manage all of that stuff, and we were going to do some giveaways live on the stream, and then we've got a couple of fairly major prizes which we were going to give away after the stream. To anyone who donated to the campaign, they'd be in the draw, so to speak, to win one of the major prizes, and then we'd give little things away during the stream. But just before I went to bed at 10:30 last night, I accidentally I installed an extra plugin for my OBS, the streaming software here, and it crashed my OBS and deleted the stream setup that I had created.
Oh.
And I couldn't obviously, spend hours and hours and hours. So I did what I could do to get it all back up and running. But for some reason, the chat bots and stuff aren't working. So, we haven't been able to, easily, say, we're going to give this away, in the chat now, hashtag gimme and you'll be entered into the competition. So we still have all of that stuff, Carl. So, I'm not going to say no. It's always wonderful to have things to give away, but that's totally up to you. If you want to chuck some discount codes for your store in or something, we can after the stream I'll get back on and we'll give some things away. We'll give some things away once I get time to fix up the chat bots.
I'm gonna get that to focus, but what am I doing? I'm painting ends.
Ed. Well, look, it's all right. It's all right. This is not a, try and cram in and see what we can, paint as much as, we can with that, like we did with our Rohan challenge. Enjoy painting those naps. Paint the ends on the little haversacks, and, you'll be fine.
And I'll go cross-eyed.
I'll send you some codes. That's probably the easiest thing, isn't it? Rather than sending stuff over, get people to.
Logistics at the moment are crazy. Some people
tell me about it.
Some people have sent some things in. We've actually had people in our local area. People from our games club have come over to my house and donated World War II kits and stuff that they're never going to use. And one guy has given us a fully painted carnival table from the Knights of Dice range. He bought it a while ago, painted it up and said, I painted it, it was great fun, give it away to the stream.
I've nearly bought that kit several times, I must admit.
It's been amazing. It's been really, really good.
So what, did nearly 10,000 Australian dollars? Is that where you are?
Yeah, right? Nearly 10,000. Nearly 10,000.
5,000 pounds.
Yeah.
That's amazing, mate.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing for 12 days of furious work, trying to just get in touch with people, send out messages, coordinate people, set up the website, organize the stream, chat to the sponsors and all that sort of stuff, and it's been amazing. We've had some amazing companies come on board and give us some support. I'm just throwing up a slide there for the stream out there. That all the suppliers there: Delta 10, Hobby Station, Hobby Homies, Conquest Creations, Battlefield Accessories. He was on earlier today with us. Black Star Gaming, Back to Basics, War and Peace Games. Massive shout out to Ian Crabb and John from War and Peace. They've given us a huge, I spoke to Ian. I know Ian, he comes to all the shows. You'd know your suppliers or your colleagues as well, people that in the industry. So I see those guys all the time at the shows that we go to. And I rang up Ian and said, Ian, I'm doing this stream thing for, trying to raise money for some Beyond Blue, for Beyond Blue. Just trying to chase down some, support. We don't have a budget. If you've got some stuff tucked away under the stairs, shoot it down to me. And and he was like, yeah, no problems. I'll send it. I'll pack up something and send it down to you. And the box that I received from him You know, must have been, you know, it's huge. It's got so much stuff in it. You know, full painting sets, boxes of paint.
Wow.
You know, there's you know, an
2-player Pacific Theatre bolt action starter.
Yeah,
I think, isn't it, Viv?
yeah. You know, complete game master. You know, dungeon setup, and you know, multiple wet palettes, multiple packs of paints, tools. You know, all, you know, just you know, I opened it up and I was like crazy. I should have opened it on the stream. That would have been amazing. But
yeah.
So we've had some really generous support. It's, you know, actually blown, you know, it's exceeded all of our expectations for, you know, what we were, you know, wanting to do with this little project and you know, this campaign, and it's been wonderful.
Well done, mate. That's amazing. I mean, in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
That's
pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's been you know, pretty much you know, my job for the last week or so. Just getting it done, make sure it all happens, and it's been great fun. You know, I'm keen to, you know, do something again in the future. You know, with a little bit more time. You know, we were talking about Hollywood celebrities before, Carl. You know, Henry Cavill and, you know, all these other guys, and Robin Williams, and, you know,
yes,
I would love to. You know, I was telling these guys in the chat, you know, Ed and the other hosts, you know, before, you know, the stream last week when we were chatting. You know, I'd love to be able to get to the point with this campaign, Painting for Life, you know, continuing its theme on, you know, into the future, to the point where we can, you know, get, you know, Henry Cavill or, you know, some other Hollywood celebrities on here. You know, that'd be amazing. If we can build, you know, something like that, I'd be super happy. But, you know, right now, 10 grand for charity is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Have you seen that video of him where he's sitting there being interviewed and he just keeps looking up and he's like,
the Blackstone Fortress. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that just before. It's great.
Yeah, like,
I don't know what Warhammer is like. Okay, you won't understand anything I'm talking about then. That, for all you Warhammer nerds at home, looks just like a Blackstone Fortress. And he's like really jazzed about it.
He was super excited about it.
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, literally 5 minutes before you came on, Carl, we were just talking about that.
Really? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I think it's hilarious. I love it.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a great story. It's a great, because you can, you know, I was a little bit suspicious, you know, at first. You know, we saw an Instagram photo last year. You know, people trying to figure out what it was. Obviously, okay, we know that it was some sort of custodes, and you know, I'm not sure about this. And, you know, a little bit more came out, and you're like, okay, yeah, well, you know, he's obviously a nerd. But it wasn't until I saw him in that interview and just his behavior and his eyes, and he was like, you know, he was super pumped about it, and he just wanted to tell someone. He's like, we've been filming on this set for ages. And, you know, nobody understands.
You all need to know what I've realized.
Yeah, nobody in the set's going to understand, but I know that people watching at home will understand. But that looks like a Blackstone Fortress, and, you know, then you could just, you know, then I was like, yeah, okay, this guy knows what he's on about.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
What was he on then? What, I thought he was being interviewed for something.
The Witcher. Witcher season 2.
Yeah, he was being interviewed. Okay. He was on the set. Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, that must be out soon.
Yeah, I haven't finished watching the first one.
I've never played the games. My I don't really play video games because my hand-eye coordination with stuff like that is I can't hit a barn door from about 6 foot. So and I just get the rage, so I avoid them. But the series was alright from what I could figure out. Wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I enjoyed the beginning bits of it. You know, the first.
Just sending you a pic, Viv. This is how crazy we've gone. I'll send it directly to you.
Oh dear.
You can probably see if you zoom in on that one how nuts we've gone.
Oh, are we you Napoleonics?
Yep.
Oh look, I think you enjoy the process of painting.
Ends. Now I have to paint facial hair and eyes, and then I'm done on these guys.
I have. In fact, I don't know if I've done any. Have I ever painted a historical figure? I don't think I ever have.
I was asking this question to myself at the start of the year, Carl.
Really?
And that's
nothing. No World War II figures or anything, Carl.
No, I've always done like sci-fi fantasy stuff. It's always been 28mm. So nothing smaller from that. I always thought they were miscasts.
Oh, I can't say I haven't done historicals. Then I did a bunch of Team Yankee tanks this last year, but does that really even count? World War III hasn't happened.
It's not long. Civilization's falling into the ocean. Well, you can give it to them.
We're almost.
Oh dear.
But no, I don't think I have. I've always done fancy stuff. Just, nothing but personal preference. Got nothing against it. Just.
It's just one of those things. It's where do your interests lie? And mine's all over the shop. Got Blood Angels army for 40k. I've got multiple Infinity factions. I've got a big Lord of the Rings army for MESBG. It's your favorite acronym, Viv.
MESBG.
Initialism, sorry. And now I'm doing historicals. I've got Adeptus Titanicus, Aeronautica, Blood Bowl, bunch of Twisted stuff. It's all over the shop, like a mad woman's breakfast, but I love it.
I had a massive Skaven army for like 2nd edition, and I don't think I could ever paint fur ever again. It just broke me. It's like I can't do it. All right, what do you reckon on this, kids?
Oh, that is pure Blade Runner vibes right there.
Oh.
If you know
So
that,
I've got a yellow one.
Yeah.
And then I got a white one. I
Nice.
don't know where the camera's picking them up.
Yeah,
These
it's
are-
almost like
they
a
look
cross
good, yeah.
between. I'm assuming they're Blade Runner influenced.
It's that kind of thing.
If not a little bit, Johnny Cab.
Yeah.
Total Recall.
I think this is tabletop terrain. I'm pretty sure it's an Australian guy, actually. I'm sure he is. Who does 3D kits, and then I kind of licensed these ones off of him for the last Colony
Nice.
7 thing. So need some background vehicles. You've got to have something in the background.
Yeah.
But
So
they always look great. I got a bunch from Antenna Cities workshop.
Yes,
yeah.
Their Infinity
Yeah,
stuff before they discontinued the police version of their car because they're like the bull bars keep breaking. We're sick of making them. I went, well, I'll grab a couple of those before they get discontinued, and they look gorgeous. That was really.
they moved pretty much over to STLs now, haven't they? I think.
I think they're still doing a little bit of casting. I know that they had cut it back. They
Yeah.
everyone's had issues. With all this bloody COVID stuff, and they had cut back on the casting. They lost their caster, and moved into Grimsis.
Yeah.
And so I know that they have certainly changed a few things, but they've always had some cool stuff. And like the civilians, it's just those little things that help add interest and detail to a battlefield or to a table. That terrain that you were showing when you first popped on just looked gorgeous. That building. Pulling figures off the table. That building with all the clutter and bits and pieces around it, and it just helps add the atmosphere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just dirtying it up and making it. It's quite. It suits my painting style, which is messy at best, and you can get away with murder.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Messy works so well for gritty sci-fi though, like for cyberpunk in particular.
Yeah.
So, there's only about 3 techniques used on the entire thing, to be absolutely honest with you, on everything. Sponging. I'd sponge everything on for terrain.
Yep.
Sponging is so good though.
I'm quite weird with my painting. I've got no short-term memory for it. It's like, so I've just done something. Try and do it again. I can't remember what I did. All the time. It's like, how did I make that look good?
I'm notorious for doing that. I'm constantly experimenting, and I'll do something that will look good, and I'm like, oh, that was amazing. And the next time I'll go, maybe I'll do it like this instead. And then it doesn't work out, and I'm like, okay, well that didn't look good. How did I do it last time? I'm like, I don't fucking know how I did it last time. I just did it, and it looked great.
What's the old Eric Morecambe quote? I'm singing all the right notes, just not necessarily in the right order. That's kind of my painting style quite well.
Yeah, sure.
That's done. Posters on that. I think I'm nearly there,
Nice work.
So
I'm realizing I'm not nearly there because there's all these little bits and bobs on historicals, like all the facial hair I've missed, all the little uniform pom-poms that are different colors for different parts of the same battalion. And I'm slowly going insane. But it's definitely the painting, not the fact that I've been up since Yeah, almost 24 hours now.
Oh, Christ.
I was going to jump into the chat for a bit. We had some technical issues when I lost connection to the Google Meet, but so people were saying we're back. Hooray! Tina Martins has joined us and says hi. And then further down here,
Hi.
I just read misseeing things. Maybe I saw that she was saying that she was drinking a glass of red wine after a hard week's work, and I got
Jealous.
Yeah, I got a little bit excited, and I was like, oh, maybe I should have a glass of wine, but that would be
Don't do it.
That would be a terrible idea at 5 o'clock in the
Don't do
morning after being online for 20 hours.
Yeah, I want to crack out my homemade limoncello.
Nat one
Got a big
videos.
lemon tree in the. I was supposed to say, Carl, we've got a big lemon tree in the backyard here, and it has been just dropping lemons like you wouldn't believe. And
You're making your own then?
Yeah. You just get a bottle of vodka, and then
Wow.
you get the peel of 10 lemons, stuff it in a jar, and let it sit for 3 weeks, and then
that's it.
come back, add some sugar syrup, you're done.
My brother-in-law, I think it was Damson gin, was it? Something like that? And I think it's the similar thing. It's a bit of alcohol, a lot of sugar. Oh, wow. It's just the most delicious thing in the world. God knows how strong it is.
My dad made blackberry vodka and blackberry whiskey one year. That was terrifying. It was so easy to drink all of it.
Yeah.
He came down with a third of a bottle of each. I said, oh, why didn't you bring a full bottle? He's like, you know exactly why. And sure enough, my mate and I stayed up that night and drank all of it after already having a couple of bottles of red and some other stuff. Like,
yeah, it's when it's that easy to drink.
Oh,
that's when the
fucking
danger
dangerous.
Yeah.
Super dangerous. But, thanks, Dad. It's very tasty.
Can I give a plug for something that I've just used here?
Mm-hmm.
Look, little Mylar stencil thing from Sarissa.
Yeah.
Sent me through the other day. There you go.
They have such great terrain. Sarissa's awesome. Oh, nice.
Amazing.
That's really good.
So, just turn it upside down, backwards to front, so it doesn't look like a letter anymore. That's what I've been doing then.
Yeah. I gotta say, the super creative ways of using all these bits and pieces, Carl. That and I think that's is what helps them. Just pop a little bit. As I've been seeing the photos on Facebook, I'm like, that just looks good. And when you say, oh yeah, it's just made of this, and it's made of this, and it's made of this, but it's how they get combined, to come to that end result. It looks great.
It's weird that sometimes it goes together like really easily, and you just go bang, 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 lovely, that works. And then other times, the other night, those tabs that I put up with the kind of the shutter things on the front. The roofs on that literally took me an entire evening to do, and I got to the end of it, looked at it, and went, no, that looks bloody awful. Ripped it all off and started again the next morning. And it was like I've just wasted 3 hours on like a 2-inch wide space.
Yeah,
I was getting quite annoyed at that, but yeah, that honestly wasn't too bad to put together. It was this bit. So these little bits along the top there, that shape I kept seeing in that Sid Mead book all the time, with that kind of that curve, that upward curve. Well, how can I get that? So that's one of our little kind of pipe sets in there. So he's just flipping it around and just going, I've never put it that way.
Yeah.
What happens when you spin it that way, or back to front, or show that edge of it, or something?
Well, like you were just saying with the stencil, turn it backwards and then turn it upside down so it doesn't look like what it was in the beginning.
Or little bits like sometimes little stuff like that where you're just putting a little kind of mask off a little bit of colour or something to get it in.
Yeah.
Because these are meant to be sort of drab because I want the figures to pop out against them. So I've done them quite muted all the way across. But I find that when I'm doing stuff, I only ever work with a palette of like 2 or 3 colours on something.
Yeah, keep it limited so it works cohesively.
Yeah. Right. I've also because it's the first time I've done painting for a while, I've had to restock a load of paints. They open everything up and it's just dust basically.
Couple of moths fly out as well, just to really emphasize
exactly
how long they've been sitting there.
It's like Lord Lucan in one of them or something like that, you know. So that's one for the kids. Sorry, that's But what have I got? I cannot speak highly enough for Agrak's Earthshade. It just fixes it's like magic.
Yeah,
in a pot.
yeah. What do people call it? Talon in a pot, talon in a bottle.
Yeah, exactly. Between that and Typhus Corrosion, I'm set.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The stream began, Carl, with my flesh recipe, but flat flesh, and then a wash, and your flesh is golden.
Viv always gives me shit because I do cork brown, I then glaze it with black red, I then go in with some cork brown mixed in with some sunny skin tone, and then I do even more extreme highlights with basic skin tone mixed into that. And then I do just really small glazes on the cheeks and the nose of cavalry brown. And it looks fantastic, but, as...
the one man over there would
sum it up.
Yeah.
Where's that guy on the internet who does all those, simple things, those hack videos, and is like, just this, points at it. There we go, flat flesh, It's written on the bottle, flat flesh,
Again, I can't remember what I did from one time to the next. So it'll be that, and then a wash, and then something else.
Yeah, I just had that with a blue I used. I was like, freaking hell, have I just screwed this up? And then luckily I got it right. So I kept the wet palette I was using before, the baking paper I was using before. I've actually kept it aside so that if any of the colors I'm worried if they're not mixing properly, I can just quickly check. So
some of the stuff I've been in that terrain set has been some 3D prints. Now I must admit, I'm not a massive fan of them because of print lines, which drive me absolutely nuts. I know you can get things, but I'm picky with my terrain. But I've got a couple of stuff from Dragon's Rest, and they take paint really, really well. I've been really surprised how well they paint up. I don't know why, if it's because of the lines in there, but I've been quite impressed. There was some weird conveyor belt thing that I did the other day, and then this massive outpost, which is going to be a great kind of backdrop to stuff. But actually, pretty good. I was surprised how well they came together.
Nice.
Yeah, they look great. I've just screen capturing the 7TV production group, and chucking some of those images out to the stream of that conveyor belt, and all the blocks around it. There's the LED tube thing in the background.
Yes, yeah. So I've that and discovered the joy of scratch building just using the GW kind of Sector Mortalis and the Necromunda bits and pieces, and they just, between that and the old bulkheads, just go together really nicely.
Yeah, they look great. Carl, in one of those photos of the conveyor belt, there looks like there's like an engineer with a hard hat on, and he's looking at some sort of terminal. Is that one of your figures?
Yes, that'll be in the next in that Kickstarter.
Oh, that's one of the new ones coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be an add-on set, and there's like a maintenance crew. I've got that, and have you seen the ogres?
I don't think so.
Let's see if I can find it on here without making a mess. What's the easiest way to do it? To send it to you?
Is it on the Facebook group?
It probably will be, but it might be a while ago. So let's see if I can find it here, and I'll send it to you in the messenger bit. Give us a sec.
Yep. See, all this stuff. I'm going to come back to this. I'll chuck this out on the stream as well. These little hab blocks, and you were saying, the solar panel collectors, and you said the hexagonal offcuts are doing all the work for the solar panel bits. But they're just they work really, really well. A few bits and pieces, some upside down stuff stuck on the bottom of them to give them that.
Yeah.
They look great. They look great.
It was last Saturday morning, and the Muse took me, and I built that kind of solar array thing and some billboards and stuff in about 2 hours, and it's like a joy when it grabs you like that, and you can just knock the stuff out. No, not there. What are we doing? Come on. It's got to be there.
I love the billboards too. They just,
That was just bits of MDF and then a couple of sort of upright things that I had. I got some signposts and things that I could then glue other bits and pieces on. So they came together really, really quickly.
They do look amazing. When you see people scratch building like this and you see those components and stuff put together, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It just works, I don't know why.
You gotta really know, or at least have a good idea what you're doing to get
there. Yeah, exactly. Because you see those things and you go, oh, that's just these bits and pieces stuck together. That's a great idea. But coming up with that and that creativity and letting that just flow out and seeing those components in that light is it's a skill, and it's a talent.
Oh, bless you. No, it's a lot of fun, to be absolutely honest with you. So it's it never really kind of particularly feels like work. I have got the advantage that I've got an entire wall of resin stuff that I can kind of pick it and see
sure.
which bit works. So I can't find them. Come on. All right, they must be. Let's do it another way. Might need a keyboard now. But yeah, so you kind of get another idea for something and go, oh yeah, that'll kind of go. All right, let's find it. There they are.
Just while you're sending those over, I'm jumping into the chat. Travis Caterer says, I've hit the wall. Great stuff today and tonight. An awesome job getting this all going and smashing your target out of the park. Cheers. Thanks, Travis, for tuning in for such a long time, mate. You're a legend.
Thanks, Travis.
Tina says,
Bye.
Does any of you ever build terrain or just paint terrain you can buy? Well, most of the stuff that we've been having a look at, stuff I had up on the stream just before, I'll throw that back up there. Where are we? Go to this page here. No, this one here. And we'll throw that out onto the stream. Look here. Here's the message from Karl. Let's open that up. Hoi! Look at those guys. I like how one of them's looking at a clipboard. He's got a safety vest on and he's scratching his head.
Scratching his head, and it's that.
What is this?
There's no big guns there. They're all, it's all, it's just character stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, they look great. They look great. And
so that's another little add-on set.
Yes, a lot of the stuff that Karl has put here on the 7TV Productions group on Facebook is all, scratch built sort of stuff, or kit bashed and
there's
and repurposed and.
I'll send you that because that shows it kind of coming together. Because it's nothing. I mean, yeah, I've got all the bits that I can draw on here, but some of it is just a bit of plastic art and old cornflake boxes. Is let's have a look at that. I'll send you this. So this was the first building that I did. And again, this was a kind of I think it was a burger shop or something. Again, one of the war bases things. Hopefully that's coming over. Because then that shows the original building.
Yeah, just adding all those little bits and pieces, that serial card on the roof.
Yeah. There's a guy called Grimsforge who kind of makes his own stuff. In fact, I've commissioned some buildings from him for the shoot next week, which I've got all packed up, ready to go. And that was a technique that I saw from him. It's just cornflake packets, and it's just about thick enough that you can then get a little kind of bradawl in the back of it just to make the rivets, make the strips. And it's that and the kind of way you clad the roof and stuff like that, just to make it look a bit kind of random. And then the odd nice little resin or
Yeah, you've got all these little
mixing it
greeblies all
in.
over it. Yeah,
Yeah. And it sort of draws it together. There's a couple of old I think there's a Manufactorum or something like that, a couple of pillars for that. But again, the painting on that, I'm completely Norse that up. That had a couple of different coats on it. I wanted it because it was meant to be, I thought, well, that'll be a noodle bar. And I was trying to do some
Not everything can be a noodle bar, Carl.
I know.
I don't want to be that guy because, hey, man, I fucking love noodle bars. Am I right? But Jesus, how are you meant to get the money for the noodle bar? Are we now just using noodles as currency between the different noodles? Okay, I'll stop. I'm sorry. This is proper. Oh shit! It's 5 a.m. This is proper 5 a.m. rambling.
I was getting slightly obsessed. You're right to call me out on it. It was.
It's coming from the guy here who's like, can you hurry up and make the ramen bar kit, please, Scott, when Scott used to work for Viv? Because every city needs a bloody ramen bar, that's for sure.
We had one. We did a Turtles game at Salute and used all of the Knights of Dice kits, and had a little Chinatown kind of setup.
Oh, amazing!
Still some of my favourite stuff.
You did use that stuff because I remember we did a trade a couple of years ago, Carl, and
That's right.
You did end up using that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Was, I think it was probably a year later than I intended to, or one thing or another, but it all got out.
Well, that's always the way, though, isn't it?
So we had
things pile up.
Yeah, exactly. But we had a big stompy robot with Krang's robot coming down the kind of main street and stomping through Chinatown. That was all good.
Amazing.
I've got 2 salutes in 6 months. In fact, all the shows are starting up again, and I am not show fit. I can tell you that much.
What do you mean you've got 2 salutes in 6 months?
Because
one got delayed, right?
Yeah, one got delayed. So they managed to book XL again for November. But it got pushed back like several times because of everything, lockdown and stuff.
Yeah.
So they've got that, but they've managed to get the original sort of back in their original slot again in April.
Back in April, yeah.
So we've got one November, then 1 April.
Oh wow!
But we just ran all the stock down, all the trade racks. So we're slowly trying to build it back up again. But I think we're gonna have to rethink it slightly and just take new stuff, really.
Yeah. Well, you've got such a massive catalogue. It gets to the point where you're like, can we really take everything? Should we take everything? And it's just not practical, right?
Not anymore. No, it's we've got, what is there, like 1,000 figures in the range now.
Wow.
And then the resin stuff, and like I said, new stuff coming out each month. So it gets to a point where you go, okay, no. I was taking a couple of racks to shows and nothing was really shifting on it, the older stuff. So you go, right, okay.
Yeah.
Stop trying to be a completist and take everything in there. It's just not practical anymore.
Yeah. It's still painful. As a business owner, you put all this effort in, and you're like, oh, we'll take everything to the show, and then you have some ranges that don't sell, and that's fine. So the next time you come to the show, you don't bring that range, and then there'll be that one guy who comes and
I was going to get
says,
all the...
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
You not brought that with you.
Where is the blah, blah, blah? And you're like, oh, I didn't bring it. And then, there's always that, oh, but I was going to buy 400 of them. And, no, you weren't, dude.
Yeah, I've been there. It's, but because of lockdown, we've got so much kind of new stuff that people haven't seen, in the flesh, as it were.
Sure.
So hopefully they'll have something they like. There's plenty there to choose from these days.
Well, like I said, you guys have been prolific, man. They're just every few months there's another Kickstarter with that does extremely well. It blows up, stretch goals galore, loads of cool, wonderful things that I'm not surprised that you've got to pick and choose now what you take to your shows. It's so good.
Yeah, cheers. We've done a couple. I think I wasn't quite sure how it was kind of going to go over lockdown. We did like a fantasy one with some orcs and stuff. and then the in fact we didn't do fancy as a Kickstarter. We went kind of straight into retail because of kind of working with the uni. But yeah, there's plenty there. It's a pretty eclectic mix, but it kind of got to that point now where we're like lucky that you know there's such a big back catalogue that people are picking up stuff from 2, 3, 5, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Whereas when we started off, it was 1 month was really paying for the next month's releases for a good year or so, just to kind of get it up and going. But yeah, I think it'll be 11 years this year.
Wow.
Rubbish with time. Which probably is also an indication of when the last time I painted. That's terrible. Are the two connected?
Yeah, well, that comes back to what we were saying when you first came. You just don't get time, right?
No, not really.
You just don't get time.
It's and because the stuff for the store, you get into that habit of getting those commissioned properly, so they're your store window, aren't they? So you want those to be as good as they can. So yeah, you kind of get out of the habit of it. But Anna said my wife was blistering bits and pieces up today when I was in there, and she said, "Oh, I like painting Karl." She said, "Painting Karl's quite relaxed. He's not swearing and
carrying on."
Yeah. So there's definitely something in it for calming the soul, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting that you say that.
Unless you're trying to airbrush.
Airbrushes.
Yeah, but then surely the fumes will just get high on that anyway. So I've been doing a lot of spray painting now. I felt amazing for the last couple of weeks, I can tell you.
It's there's a lot of models in our range that I've never painted. Just don't get time to paint them all, and unless I'm sitting down specifically to paint something, it's either been painted by Scott or somebody else, or just don't.
I saw your Necron stuff, which was quite good because I've got a lot of time. I've been intimidated by the airbrush, but the rattle can technique.
I love rattle cans.
It's about my level, and I've been doing quite a lot of that the last couple of weeks. But that Necron stuff looks really good.
Hey Karl, answer me this question: in the UK, have you always called spray cans rattle cans, or did you call them spray cans?
No, I always call them spray cans, but I thought you called them rattle cans. Do you not, or is that wrong?
No, see, we call them spray cans as well. It's the Americans who call them rattle cans.
Amerikanski.
And it's starting to bleed out everywhere. People just call them rattle cans.
I was doing that. I thought I'll adapt to my landscape here, and I thought that's what you call them.
You missed the mark, mate.
Well out.
No, sure. Well, I think that we're aligned. Australia and the UK on many things, especially when it comes to the English language. But the term rattle can, I just use it because I just hear it so often on YouTube, and I've had to explain it sometimes. What's a spray can? And people, someone's like, "What is a spray can?" And I'm like, it's one of those things. You shake it, spray can.
And it sprays.
Yeah.
A rattle can.
You're talking about a rattle can. Yeah.
No, I was just trying to be all international and windswept and interesting. Where's that gone?
Yeah, I love using spray cans. They just make the job so easy, especially like you said before, especially when you put in a whole bunch of chipping and sponging and stencils. Some of the stuff that you had there, the old Necromunda sprues, you'd put like some yellow lines through it. Just masking off and doing some quick sponging to put some old weathered paint on there. You can make something look really, really good with some really simple techniques. And it kind of belies the effort that has gone into it, because you look at it and you go, that's amazing. And then you tell someone, it took like 10 minutes to paint that. And you're like, what?
I don't know where you can see that. It's not brilliant. I haven't put a wash or shade in it. I'm kind of leave it as it was.
Yeah.
But that was, a bit of Xanthi dust, whatever that stuff's called.
Xandri dust. Yep.
Xandri, that's it. Just to kind of get the weathering on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it's just a bit of sponging, really. I tend to do it wet, though. I never let the coats dry.
No.
Maybe because I'm impatient. But I just kind of Keep laying it up.
Yeah, you get a nice, interesting, variation in the color. Then you get a nice blend. You can start building some textures in there, and
Yeah.
and it gets done quickly. I always like to paint when things are wet. If I have to wait for layers to dry, then there's a bigger chance it's never going to get finished.
Yeah, I'm just really impatient, and I've bodged up loads and loads of projects in the past because I just should have waited and let it dry and didn't.
Same.
Yeah. Oh, bless you. Well, I've got a cup of tea.
Oh, mate. See, I'm in the twilight hours now, but when my wife was awake earlier, last night, earlier in the stream, she brought me a little platter of some, cheese and some
Nice.
strawberries and some blueberries and some crackers. Then she brought me, a lovely, bowl of salad with some chicken and stuff in it. And now I've just been sitting here like some sort of hobo in me track pants, keep on looking around going, I wonder if a coffee's going to arrive at some stage. Of course it's not going to arrive. Get up and go make it. Oh, wow.
Have you got to the point now where if you have caffeine, that's, you're close to the time where you might be able to get asleep. So you're not going to go near it?
No, I will duck off in a quick second. Actually, I've gone to boil the kettle twice when I've ducked off before. Go put the kettle on, I'll boil it, come back, make my cup of tea or coffee, and I haven't done it yet. So this will be the third time I've boiled the kettle, and this time I will make myself a coffee. No, I'm one of those people that we'll get to the end of this at 10. And I'll be like, well, I'm awake now. Might as well, do something else.
You'll go straight through.
Yeah, and if it's a good day, I might get out there and mow the lawn. Just try and burn out as much of that, post-stream energy and just get it done and get something practical done. I haven't done the lawns for a while, so I'll get those done. So I'm just going to jump into the chat for a minute. Tina Martin says, no, spray can is the word. We call them Spitbussen. Spitbussen.
Spit. That's much better.
She's Belgian, she says. Further up.
I'm going to go with that from now on. I think that's far superior.
Yeah, the Spitbussen.
Stephen B says they look great. He's referring to the ogres that we showed up just before. He said we need more sculpts like that. When are these non-combatant sculpts being released? So these are all part of your
they'll be part of that Kickstarter as well, yeah.
Yeah.
So next month with any luck.
And I think Tina's LOLing at my pronunciation and my pronunciation of the word Spitbussen.
See, look, this is a classic approach to painting. This is I won't pin wash this. I won't bother putting all the lines in. And now that's what I'm putting all the lines in because it looks better. And I should have just done that from the start.
Yeah, sometimes you just can't help yourself, And Ed was going to try and paint, 24 of his Napoleonic figures, and it was fairly early into the stream, maybe 3 or 4 hours, and he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like adding 2 colors to the eyes, and I'm like, well, that's all right,
I mean, yeah.
You're getting into it.
At least 2 colors, otherwise they just look like soulless demons with black eyes, or psychers with their white eyes. So yeah.
I still giggle at that. Paint me like one of your miniatures, Kate Winslet.
Love it.
Every time.
I'm amazed I've still got the dexterity to paint thin lines. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. One of these guys has to get stripy pants, apparently.
Christ, you sucker for punishment.
Well, I got good brushes, and you just paint lines. Too bad.
I bought a load of new paints and didn't bother buying new brushes. I've got some right old lags that are still putting in the time for me, and it really shouldn't. I bought some really, really loads of cheap makeup brushes.
They're great
for terrain and stuff. They're better than anything I've ever used. There's hundreds of the things.
Yeah, they
A
work
mate
really
of mine
well.
just said, "Well done, I'm still there." He just got back from his night shift. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fucked."
Yeah, Joshua Brown. Yeah, nice work, gents. I just got home from work and you're still going.
Yeah,
Amazing.
thanks, Josh, and thanks for the donation too, mate.
Legend. When am I coming to the UK next, Viv? Says Tabletop Gaming. Fucking whenever I can. I love the blends on the windows, Carl.
I didn't. That is just the kind of the white spray and then the grey over the top of it, and then really thin, just kind of watered down Boundary Deep Blue, in fact. And then a bit of nuln oil kind of around the
edges.
and then still look, I've ended up pin washing the bloody thing.
It looks great.
Right. I think in the background, out of focus, I think I can get away with it. Under the scrutiny of Kev's lens, he's got a good camera and set up there. See, that's one of the things I love doing. It's the art direction stuff of the photo shoots. Set it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I could do that all day. That was a proper job.
Yeah.
Full time.
Yeah. Well, you're taking a picture of a little world, and the world needs to look like a little world, not just the miniatures you put on the table in front of some buildings, and you're going, take a picture. You've got to shape the scene, and whenever I've been taking photographs on the table, product shots or whatever, especially when you've got miniatures involved, it doesn't look anything like you'd expect it to look. Because, buildings are, you've got this weird depth of field that you're trying to play with. And so,
you're working in just that, only what you can see in that shape.
Yeah. And so on a tabletop, you might have, a building here, a building here, and a building here, and a building here. But when you take a product shot, this building is all the way back here, and it's on the other side of the table. But in the photograph, it kind of looks, like where it's supposed to be. But you end up with this, this set that sprawls out much further than you think the photo would be, so that when you can take a shot, you're seeing, everything. It's a wonderful experience. I totally understand what you mean.
When we tap him at Kev's, he's got his little art board set up in the corner of his dining room, really. So it's only just about 2 foot deep.
Yeah.
So almost all of the shots that you've seen in any of the books that we've got are pretty much all been taken there. Pulp actually came up here and we did it a little bit deeper. So it's just working out. It's like old stagecraft. You've got the flats, just the different things to kind of give that perspective. Oh, I love doing that. I'm looking forward to this. We haven't done one for ages, so it'll be quite good to get down there.
Yeah. So when am I coming back to the UK? Says Top Table Gaming. Steve will be joining us a little bit later on in the stream. I don't know. It's really hard to know what's happening here. Right now we have a curfew. We said at the beginning of the stream we have a COVID curfew. So between 9 and 5 we're not allowed outside our homes. 9 p.m.
Because we're naughty children who kiss each other in the dark of the night with tongues.
We don't trust you to behave yourself. Stay in the fucking house.
In the house, fucking.
Has it been really, really rigid like that all the way through?
Oh yeah.
When it gets extreme, yeah.
This is the second time we've had a curfew. This is this is our 6th lockdown. We're in the week 8 now of our 6th lockdown.
Did you know what this red needs, Viv? Highlighting, because I'm clearly delirious. Anyway.
You do it, man. You paint them, man. They're your naps. You enjoy painting them, and Yeah, but it's been pretty furious. And there was some talk earlier this year that we may not be able to travel internationally until 2024. So we'll see what happens.
That's gone away a bit now, which is good.
Has it gone away?
Yeah, as in it's probably next year.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not confident. It's
I mean, Queenslanders won't be able to because they'll still be trying to get vaccinations done. But Queensland in Australia has a very hard border policy with other states, Carl, as does Western Australia. Because there's no threat from COVID in those states, they have the slowest uptake of vaccines in Australia at the moment. There's that lack of immediacy there.
I mean, we're fairly rural here, so we're quite on the east of England, and so I think we've been kind of lucky and spared, and it's not it's not densely populated. So I can understand how in Australia, where I'm assuming the distance is far greater and there's a lot more remote areas, how you could kind of think it's not really affecting you.
Yeah.
Because I see that a little bit, even where we are.
Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't got a massive amount of time for our government, but the vaccination thing is 88% take up or something.
Wow, that's really good. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
For like at least one jab. So it's not bad, but
honestly, to get a population past the 80% mark is actually really impressive.
Yeah.
They're not expecting to get much further past 80% in Australia.
all right.
Just insane, but anyway. Yeah, when I was a teenager, I went to Monaco quite a lot. I know I sound like a total wanker when I say that, but we didn't have any money. We just got lucky with people we knew. And one of the guys we met was this lovely guy called Joe, and he had polio as a kid, and was permanently in a wheelchair. Stunted legs.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how can you not think vaccines are really important? How can you not see the benefits of it? It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of saying
we've seen it play out so much. I got whooping cough because people have, stopped taking boosters for that on a regular basis. It's crazy.
Oh God, I wasn't quite that. We got it came back from a plane years ago, like a really, really bad cough. To the point where I couldn't, almost like you couldn't breathe. It stopped. It was the most terrifying thing I've ever had.
Ugh, that's horrible.
That lack of breath. So, Christ knows what COVID is like, if that's going to be like it. So.
Yeah, exactly right. Apparently, it's not great. But I got whooping cough after spending 3 weeks in Rome, and then the Côte d'Azur in France. My mum's auntie lived in La Turbie, which is just above Monaco.
Nice.
And I came back and had like really, really bad whooping cough at the age of bloody 15. It was just like, what's going on?
Yeah. Nasty.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't get it.
Tina in
Don't
the chat
get how
here
the internet is a better teacher than a bunch of certified professionals that check the shit out of each other's work and will genuinely apply the proper scientific method of going, your thesis is shit, show me more evidence.
But
which
Ed,
I think is great.
Ed, I saw it on Facebook. They're saying
Dr. Goggle.
Tina here from Belgium says that Flanders is 95%.
Wow, that's awesome.
And she says, I'm a nurse, so please get vaccinated. Get vaccinated, please.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great message. Very true.
I keep on saying she, but I'm sorry, I'm not sure. I can't pronounce this name. I'm terrible with names. To me, it says Tina. Tina Martens.
Let's see what they say. Besides, get vaccinated, please, which is just a great message. All right, I've highlighted the red. I think it's time, Viv. I'm gonna let my hand rest, and then we're gonna do the eyes.
Yes, you do it. You get it done. All right, I'll be back in just 2 minutes. I'm gonna go reboil that kettle and quickly make myself a cup of tea.
Thanks, Tina. Tina is a she, by the way. Thank you, Tina.
Oh, there we go. She it is. There we go. I'll be back in a second.
Oh man. Oh, this knuckle is not liking life at the moment. Deformed. Those headphones, Viv, why do they keep doing that?
Is that where that's coming from? I wasn't sure where that was.
Yeah. His headphones do a weird thing.
I'm just using is the sound alright on this? Because I'm just using the just the.
Your
max
sounds
mic.
great, mate. Yeah, no, it's really clear. I've got a gaming headset because I'm a giant ass nerd, so I cop comments at work all the time, and I go, yeah, but I can stand up and go stand out in the backyard and throw the the ball for my dog, and you guys don't know because I'm still talking to you. And I can mute myself from the headset. So it's genius. Oh dear. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know why I do know why I'm doing French. I've always wanted to do historicals from when I was a kid. Seeing big forces of Napoleonic, miniatures lined up on a table is just one of the most awesome things ever. So yeah, I don't know. And as I was saying earlier, like, it's just a chance to explore some real history, not just lore that's been made up by some incredibly creative person. It's stuff that actually happened and actually shaped who we are now. So yeah, it's been really enjoyable for that aspect, and a good way to shake it up as well, instead of just consuming G-Dub product again and again. I bought these off Viv. Oh god, like 2 years ago, and they've just been sitting there in the pile of shame/opportunity, depending on if you're half empty, half full. Yeah. And then this year I finally went, well, we're in lockdown again, let's do it. So
yeah, I don't know why I've never done it. My palette cleanser is always
one of
a
those
big
things.
monster. I'll do certain things and I go, okay, I've got bored with this. I need to do something else.
Sometimes I like just the process of doing the same thing can be a little bit, I guess, mindless. So just sort of frees my mind a little bit to just relax.
You zone out, don't you?
There's a whole Blood Angel army behind me in the cabinet, and that's just red, so much red.
That needs a go.
Oh, yes.
That's got a lot of dust on it now. That's how long that's been sitting up, man.
But then I do other stuff like I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but I love spending 40 hours painting up something like that.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you can see her well.
Never done a bust. Never. I don't know why.
And this is my first and only one I've done, but I've got a couple now, and then I'm working on a diorama at the moment, which I'll bring over, which is going to be really cool. And I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to bring it over. It's very on topic and on brand for you, Karl. You'll understand why in a second. Sorry, I'm just freeing up a model that's sitting on a.
I can report back. The headphones really good at distance.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I'm just laying it back up on the base. So I need to do a bit more zenithal priming for this, but.
Ooh, nice.
So this is a 75mm figure, and you might notice that that's the katakana for Ra, if you know your Japanese katakana. So that's going to be basically a neon ramen sign throwing light behind her and then doing like all different lighting effects and stuff. So
wow, that's going to be amazing.
That's going to be full on. That'll be really fun to paint. Something very, very different from what I normally do. So, but that's super intimidating because it's a gorgeous, super detailed model, and it's a 75mm figure, so there's a lot of her, and I've made this ridiculous, base for it. So we'll see.
I must admit that intimidation thing is often catches me out. Like I said, I love to build it and scratch build it, but then thinking, putting paint on it, I'm going to kill it. But I think I've broken that with this last project. Yeah. Hey,
I'll do. You all right?
All right. Well, I'm
dying, Luke. I'm dying.
Are you gonna head off, Karl?
I am. Look at him with his soft focus. He's so professional.
Oh yeah. He's got his spot.
You almost think he's got
lighting in the background.
Oh,
yeah.
I've just got bad LED lighting.
He's
It's all right. It's everywhere.
I'll get mine out of shot because all you can see is the glare from this bloody massive thing. But
I've put a filter on mine so it makes it flare more.
J.J. Abrams lens flare going on.
I was going to say, is that the J.J. Abrams school of lighting? What was the how it should have ended YouTube clip from years ago? It was like, okay, can we just pause for a minute? Bridge, please turn down the lens flare. Turning down lens flare. Oh, that's so much better. I was getting a headache. Oh my god, I thought it was just me. It's so bad. Oh dear.
I'm gonna let this man entertain you now, and I'm gonna disappear off. Congratulations, mate. Because
thanks, Karl.
Thanks heaps, Karl. It was awesome to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I've wanted to get your stuff for ages, so now I can't say no because there's a face to a name. Shit.
I'll get an
My
address
wallet
and send you a van.
No, I'm going to pay for it. Trust me. You don't need to send me anything. You deserve the cash, mate. So I'll put an order in for a bunch of stuff, including the A team and some other cool 80s shit. So
Bless you.
thank you very much.
Love it, mate.
Brilliant, Carl.
See you later, mate.
Thanks so much, mate. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, mate.
See ya.